So
Shit. Text the group. My
so
bad.
one of the biggest things though, I okay. So today today uh I'm only we're discussing about like training and things like that. Talking about our portfolios and stuff like that because a lot of people were curious as to what our mindsets were when we're trading. What did we trade? How often did we trade it? Um, it's hard to describe. But today, today we're going to be discussing, of course, like what's in our portfolios. What have we traded? We're going to discuss our journeys, like how did we get started? Um, this, that, and the third. And I know, like, for a lot of people that was talking to me, they all had questions, specifically because a lot of things are new, right? So, um, for those who are new, they don't know where to start and things like that. So, we're gonna try to make things easier. So, Jared, I want you to start off, right, with what got you trading. How much did you start off with? What do you think was the first company you bought, and what was your processes during trading?
All right. So, what got me into it? Uh, actually, was my dad. When I was in college, he kept like just constantly like in my head, like you should look into stocks. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. All right. And like every now and then, hey man, you should get into stocks. I'm like, all right, bro, chill. You should get into stocks. I'm like, all right, fine. I will get into stocks. From there, kind of jump right in. So the first company that I thought to invest in, of course, was Apple. Why? Everybody is always buying their products. Every year they come up with a new phone with slight changes, and yet people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy that one." So one, we all know that Apple is a very stable company and it's good to invest in.
Uh,
And lo and behold, a couple years later, they stock. Apple's generally always just a nice, steady climb.
so hold
Stay for
on.
the
How
go
much
for
did you
it.
start off with though?
Shit.
How much
I don't
would
even
you
have
say?
the. I believe I bought their stocks. I think where they were in the high 60s, low 70s.
Okay, okay, valid.
And then what is this shit is worth like almost 200 now. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me.
I got you. I got you. So if we go off Apple, because I have a couple shares in there. If we go off for 5 years, and they had, I think it was a 1-3 stock split.
Hmm,
So you're looking more at like 2016, 2017. That sound
right.
about right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then a couple years later, it's like I look back and I'm like, oh god damn, the stocks are worth a nice amount now. So then from there, I did cash out some of those, and then I kept some, and then I cashed out again later. But that was just one of the like solid investments. I mean, I did make a dumb one. My dumb investment was Movie Pass. I'm sure you all heard of it, especially when they got into all their trouble. So at the time, my theory was obviously they're like losing a bunch of money, so their stocks dipped drastically. Like even now, I think there's like they filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, but their stocks are worth 0.02 cents right now.
Mm.
I still have those stocks. Why? I don't know. But to be fair, at the time I bought $20 worth, so that was $200 worth, 200 stocks for $20, and I was like, whatever, it's $20. It's not that
Okay.
bad, even if it tanks.
Okay.
I still have them. I haven't sold them yet. I probably should sell them, but I keep thinking you never know. Next thing you know, someone buys them and the stock gains value back. Highly unlikely at this point because Movie Pass or anything like that is irrelevant, especially with COVID.
Yeah.
So it is highly unlikely the company will ever bounce back.
Okay. Okay. Now, what was your thought process going forward from there? Like, what made you? What was your goal, and what made you go? This is the next company I want to invest in, or this is the next thing I want to do, and things like that.
So from there, actually, that's probably when you started like throwing little bits and pieces at me too. You want to look for a stable company, someone you know who suddenly once again won't go bankrupt, and you don't want to invest in something that's more like gimmicky. That'll be like, oh, it's like hot and really like popular right now, and then it's gone. kind of like all the Bitcoin and all that. We'll talk about that later. But from there, like because Duncan pointed out to me, Tesla was always like, especially with Elon, they were always just like trying to push new boundaries with stuff. So like most of you probably heard about their electric trucks that they were pushing for freight vehicles. I don't even know where that went. I know they made them, but I
It's
just
still
don't
there.
know
It's still there.
if it like blew up yet. So like at that point, that was 3 years ago, I think. Like that was the time to kind of dip into Tesla. And if you look at Tesla now, as you can see, the stocks are mad high. So if you invested like, I don't know, say you bought 10 stocks 3 years ago and you kept those 10 stocks now, you were sitting pretty.
To be honest with the Tesla, right? To be honest with the Tesla, with Tesla, because they had a stock split. If you would have bought, he is kind of right though. If you would have bought Tesla 3 years ago in 2018, stock price was about 60.
Dumb low.
Right? And this is in comparison to the split. So it would have been more. It would have been like 120, 110. Now the stock price is 1,161. So if you would have bought 10, it would have cost you around this time the equivalent of 600, and now you would have had 10,000. Just put that in perspective. So just keep that in mind. But yeah. So stable companies, right?
Stable and potential. Tesla at the time they're doing all right. Nothing crazy, but they're doing all right. But especially at the time when Elon was like talking all his shit, you know how he does. He always talks up his company, what they're looking into do, investing. Like that should have been a little light bulb. Like I should keep an eye on that company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if a company has potential, that does not mean I'm gonna dump all my money into it because you don't know. They could talk mad shit and still flop. But at the time, if you had a little extra side cash, it don't hurt to throw a little something in the mix because you never know.
Okay. I got you then. I got you. So I started investing poorly in 2016, 2017. I used this format called Scottrade. Around this time, my boy Camille, he was trading on E-Trade, right? And I think at this time also, Camille graduated and was doing his master's program. So he had the money for it. I started getting curious because you grow up thinking stocks are for millionaires, right? Like that's the whole thing. You always thought I need to have millions or thousands of dollars to start, right? So when I first started trading and I put in $100 in Scottrade, it was Scottrade at the time. Now I think they now got bought part of Ameritrade. Now I think they got bought out. I was losing money left and right. I just looked at stocks that were decent at the time. Like at the time is when weed was legalized. So I was like, put all my money into weed stocks. I'm about to be rich. Da, da, da. No, like the weed stocks tanked. Like, oh my god, it was crazy. And I gave up on trading. I said, this ain't for me. I'm losing money. I lost all my money, especially because the trading fees would fuck me up. Like for one trade would cost like $3 to $4, $5, and I'm sitting here like, all right, I'll probably make it back. No, you don't. Especially with how low you're trading, so you don't. So I gave up on it, but I still like looked at the stock market. Right? I just looked at it. Next thing I know, my boy Kevin Sin, he I remember this because it was football. Yep. In 2016, he introduces me to Robinhood. Right. So Robinhood, actually, let me get a confirmation of when I actually started in Robinhood. I started Robinhood August 18th, 2017. There you go. So 2017, I start Robinhood. I'm trading what I can. But one of the biggest things that hit me was I started seeing stocks for $4, $5, $3. I'm sitting here like, hold up, I can afford these, right? So I sign up for it. I get a free stock when I signed up for it through my boy Kevin. So I only had $10 to my name at the time. I put in the $10. I see, oh, I can afford Snapchat at the time, which was like $3, $4. And then, oh, I can afford Ford at the time, which was like $9, right? So I was like, oh, let's go, right? And I was so hyped of gaining pennies, so hyped, bro. Like when you put in $10 and you saw you gain 50 cents in a week, you're like, mm, let's go 50 cent, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you're chilling. Next thing I know, I'm spreading the word. Like I was like some hear ye, and I'm telling everybody. I'm telling all my boys. I'm telling everybody, yo, we can start trading now, bro. We can pick up on the gains of the market. We don't gotta be rich. If you got $10, put in $10. If you got $5, put in $5. Like we can do this shit right now, right? So what do I see? I see everybody. Everybody's getting on Robinhood now. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Even my roommates, I'm putting them on the Robinhood. We all hype. We like, yo, we just bought a whole share of Microsoft and shit. I'm like, yes, bro. Like we hype, right? Eventually got to the point where I hit my first $100. When I hit my first 100, my goal was to keep buying the smaller stocks to the point where I could buy a big stock, and then use that big stock and keep buying the big stock to the point where I could buy a bigger stock. So all of my stuff was Ford, especially because Ford was paying dividends. Right? Dividends are a safe way to build your money. It's not a fast way, right? The more shares you have, of course, the better. And your growth is probably gonna be like this, like a flat. It's gonna be almost flatline, but it's gonna be pretty. Still gonna be an upward trend. Mm. However, with the dividends though, if you have $100 in a stock, you're not getting much. Okay. So Ford was paying me like $5. Mind you, I'm still hyped because I only had $100 in, and I finally was able to afford my first share of Microsoft. And I kept repeating the process: Ford, Snapchat, Ford, Twitter. Just keep, and then I bought my other share of Microsoft. Then I did the same thing again. I kept building it up to the point where once I can afford a Microsoft share, I put it in a Microsoft. This is before fractional investment. Right? I did my own fractional investment. I invested in these smaller companies until I had enough to then sell and put in the bigger company. So as time goes on, right? Little do I know, I'm gaining fast now. Like as the more I ended up putting in, the faster I gained. So here I am, just like now I hit my first 200. Oh my God, hit my first 300. Oh my God, hit my first 1,000. Now, mind you, at the time, I never worked for a job that gave me 1,000 before, right? They gave me 400, right? They gave me 200. They gave me 50 cents. I never had a job that gave me 1,000. So here I was shocked at the number 1,000, right? Because you thought, you remember back then when you was like either doing a work study in college or right before college, you thought you was a big baller with your $200, right? But when you hit your first 1,000, it's like, oh my God, I finally hit the 4-figure mark, right? And then I started thinking about my thoughts, and I said, I need to save $20 to $40 to $50 a month into stocks. So I do that. I start my job now, and when I started my job, I was only at $2,000 when I started my career. As I put the money in from my paycheck, $50. Next thing I know, all the money I was putting in got me up to $3,000. But then Tesla shot up. I bought Tesla at the time because my boy at the time said to invest in Tesla. So I'm going to do it. I invest in Tesla at the time, and Tesla shoots up. Now I'm at 5,000. Tesla then drops severely. severely, and I mean like, right?
Was that when he tweeted? Isn't that what happened? He said some dumb shit,
So
or
it
was it
was
something
two
else?
reasons. One, a lot of shorters,
Mm.
a lot of people shorted the stock. That's number one. Shorting means they basically placed a bet that it would drop, and with the big amount of people, if you guys remember GameStop, when there's a big amount of people, it drops. But the GameStop thing was a phenomenon, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But this is where the biggest mistake a lot of investors make. I sold the stock when it plummeted because I was here thinking I'm gonna lose all my money. Why? Because everything we're taught in movies and stuff like that was I lost all my money in the stock market. Da, da, da. So I was thinking to myself, I'm about to lose all my money. All the money I spent a year and a half building was gonna be gone. So I just dropped. I said, nope, no more Tesla. Little did I know that's the biggest issue you can't do. You can't do that. You know why? Because I never actually lost money until I hit that sell button. Right? It's called unrealized gains and unrealized loss. It was never realized because that's value. Stocks are value. The value will fluctuate, but the actual money you get from it and everything depends on when you hit that sell button. So here I am. I sold all the stock. I'm pissed. I'm like, man, Tesla sucks. Right? And then Elon said like, I think Tesla's worth too much money. Then the shit dropped too. I'm like, man, Tesla sucks. Tesla sucks. A week later, Tesla's right back where it started. Shot right back up. It said, never mind. And you know how pissed I was like, I could have made, oh my God. I could have just been chilling. So I decided from then on, don't sell while low. Don't sell on your loss, right? Because then you lose it, right? What you do is sometimes what I often did was I took the profit out. So if I invested 1,000 in a Tesla and I made another 1,000, I take $1,000 worth out and put it somewhere else, right? So lo and behold, my boy said like he's tweeting everything. My boy Kevin's tweeting everything. He's like, bro, he's like telling everybody, yo, invest in Tesla. I'm telling you guys, give it 2 years, 3 years, invest in Tesla, invest in Tesla. This man studied Tesla in and out completely and said, invest, invest, invest. You know, I was like, you know what? I trust him because he's actually putting in the research and putting in everything, and he's risking his own money too. He's not like one of those types like, you invest in this. I'm not going to invest in it, but you can invest in it. No, he actually invested in it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to invest in Tesla again. Started buying more and more shares. Before I know it, I was all in with Tesla. At the end of the year of 2019, no, at the end of the year 2020, Tesla had given me a $8,000 profit. 8,000, almost triple what I had, right? And I'm sitting here like, now I understand. So what I do, I kept buying more Tesla, more Tesla, more Tesla. I started to spread the word again, like as if I'm a hear ye, and I'm like, yo, invest in Tesla, invest in Tesla. But then I started doing my own research on Tesla and found out why it was doing so good. It's because Tesla is an innovator, right? And on top of that, Tesla is high demand. Most of the solar panels people want, Tesla made, right? Electric cars, Tesla made. SpaceX by itself, Tesla made. Like it's everything Tesla. And Elon is such a confident person, right? You know how like some CEOs and stuff like that, they just hide behind, you know, the screens and stuff. Elon be out here. He just, I'm on Saturday Night Live, bitch. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he chilling, and it's that confidence that actually put more into Tesla. But recently, I sold my shares. Sold half, a good three quarters, three fourths, 3/4 of my shares of Tesla. I sold 3/4 of them. And the reason why I did that is because I noticed that my portfolio was not diversified. I did not have a diverse portfolio. The reason why I diversify my portfolio is because if one sector or one sector of the stock market declines, for example, if you go electronic, which is Microsoft, things like that. If that declines, but let's say the automotive one goes up, then me having stocks in Ford and things like that is gonna go up too. So instead of taking a huge loss, what I do is have the stocks even themselves out, right? So what I gain from some and lose from another, they just even themselves out. So I instead put 20% each of my whole portfolio into each stock, right? At the time. So I'm gonna show you guys what it's like. But actually, first, Jared,
Hmm.
show them your portfolio real quick,
Uh, uh, uh,
so we could discuss, how things go. Like what's your mindset? Why'd you buy this and things like that.
mm, mm, Yep, yep, yep. Boop. All right. So this is where I'm sitting right now.
Okay.
Bigger.
All right. Explain each one.
All right. So let me see.
Just to confirm, this is not. You also have an account with Robinhood, don't you?
Yeah, I need to like figure out like a smart way to transition all my stuff over to them.
Yeah.
Cause like this is like the company like my dad like recommended for me to use and when I was in college, so I still have my
Well,
money there.
Schwab. Get you. I get you. I go ahead.
So let's see. First, I have First Bitcoin. This was one of the digital currencies. This was a dumb investment. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, minus 10 for now. This
Yeah.
is fine because you see how the
Uh,
percentage you only have 0.02% of your account on it, so
yeah.
that's good.
That's because Tesla's all my stock. That's my breadwinner.
Yeah.
um, Helios and Matheson. That was Movie Pass.
Oh,
I
okay.
still have it. I just see I only lost $20 because that's how much I put in. But once again,
$20.
you never know. Someone buys them, I'm golden.
All right, all right.
JetBlue. At the time I got 10 of those stocks. This is when I when did I buy them at?
You bought them probably at 15.
Yeah. That was I think that was when there was like a sort of somewhat of a dip in them. And now that the airlines are bouncing back,
Yeah, but
that
JetBlue's
should
never been that high. It's always been between $15 to $20. So at most you
plug
probably
power.
get a 33% gain.
Hmm. Plug Power Inc. I think when I went
Damn.
over your recommendation. Yeah. Yeah, it took a
Minus
hit.
108.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Wasn't great.
He bought it at its peak. That's why.
Yeah. So it hurt. Pigs International. I'm trying to remember what that company even was.
Okay, so
I
here's
don't
my
even.
tip for y'all.
Hmm.
Don't do
Don't
that.
don't buy random shit.
Don't buy
No,
random
don't
shit,
buy
bro.
random shit. I bought a bunch of random shit, and then there's Tesla. That's the breadwinner stock.
Yeah, plus 555.
Yeah, it shot up nicely.
After I told this motherfucker invest in Tesla, you see how it works.
Because
Okay.
I bought it at 616, and now look at it.
So explain, at least explain why though. Like in a 2 sentence each, explain why each stock.
Tesla stable, high potential.
Okay.
JetBlue Airlines had taken a hit, but I figured eventually, like especially with all the bailout money they got, it's gonna bounce back. They'll be all right.
Okay.
Helios and Matheson, even though it was a dumb investment at the time, the point was this company's tanking, which is also theoretically a time you also want to potentially invest because if they bounce back, you ride that wave back up.
Okay.
Plug Power Inc. I don't remember why I bought those stocks. I honestly
Plug
don't.
plug. I know. I think I know why, because Plug at the time had a huge gain, like a very
Okay.
very huge gain, and a lot of people started buying it. So like I
And
said,
that's
I
what
think you probably bought it near its peak.
yeah, when it when it dipped.
Yeah.
First Bitcoin, that was one of the digital currencies I think that was kind of fluctuating at the time, so I only bought a little bit. Like I have 80, but I only lost $10. So obviously it was I think this was one of the penny stocks at the time. Yes, we're 24 cents right now.
I mean, I bet the shit is 0.003. It's
Yeah.
just less than a penny, dog.
Yup. Tanked.
Okay, okay,
So I'm, as you can see, a fairly inconsistent investor.
okay. But let me see.
But I'm
Go up,
learning.
go up real quick. but you at least have a gain loss of 346, so you're still positive though. See,
True.
that's the thing that people don't understand. Look how much red Jared has, but his portfolio itself, it's still green. It's still positive. That's what diversification is. Now, don't get me wrong, his portfolio isn't technically
It's a mess.
diverse because his ass got Tesla at 77%. That's
Yeah.
besides the point, right? It's just the fact that out of all the losses Jared has taken, his whole portfolio is still plus 346. Right. So this is a lot of things with investors is they look at all the red and go, "Oh my God, it's so bad." And no. Look at your portfolio itself. Look at the whole, right? Because when you look at the whole, that's the big picture. You know what I'm saying? The only time you look at the negatives, all these other things, if you're worried about the direction it's gonna go. That's it, right? But the overall big picture is that gain and loss for your portfolio. Okay, remember that.
Yeah, but once like I don't know, I don't know, because for them, like Charles Schwab, they're a pain in the ass to work with. Like for like if I want to sell a stock for them, they quote unquote sell the stock, but you don't get like the funds until like 2 or 3 days later.
I bet.
So it's
Yeah,
like a pain in the
you
ass.
don't get the instant thing. I forgot.
Nah, like with Robinhood, you could just do it
Yeah.
and it's done.
Okay.
But
What about your Rob? You got anything in your Robinhood?
I don't think I have anything in Robinhood right now.
Not yet.
I think what I did have in there was a Shiba Inu. I'm sure you all heard about that.
Robinhood's not. Shiba Inu's not on Robinhood yet.
It wasn't?
Nope. You probably got that in Coinbase or something.
Probably.
All right, I got you then. Let me share my screen real quick.
All right, let me boo. All right, before it goes up, I'm leaning towards around 11K.
11K what?
Your balance.
My balance?
Your total.
11. Yeah, all right. 11K.
Oh, it's a lot higher than that. Let me see. God damn! All right, bro. Shit. All right, bro. I see you. Damn, you're sitting real nice. Very nice.
It's his picture.
That's why you kept saying you're gonna buy a Tesla, right? That's why you kept saying get that nice down payment out.
So this my so I'm gonna just show you guys my thing. So this is my overall, right? 28K, 63% gain for the market altogether. It's gonna jump in and jump out whenever I click on whenever I click off the screen. So you gotta bear with me. I'm gonna keep maximizing stuff like that. So my investments are, of course, Ford, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, TD Bank, and DWAC. So I'm gonna explain each one. All right. So first one is Ford. Right. First one's Ford. So Ford itself is always, in my opinion, has been trustworthy. The thing about Ford is it's something that's very consistent. It's one of the most consistent car stocks out there. It doesn't move too much, so it's kind of where you can keep a stable, stable amount of money in. And the thing about Ford especially is I have Robinhood Gold, which gives me market analysis, right? So I can read the full market report on it. I can see the fair value of the stock, right? And you can see here uncertainty is high because nobody knows. Ford's been a dividend stock for such a long time. Nobody really knows what's happening with it. So as you can see, when I bought Ford, when I sold Ford and everything like that, Ford accumulates for only, I believe, where is it? I think it's only 10, 15, 18%.
Yeah, 15%. You're right there.
Yeah, 15, right. 15% of my portfolio, because it doesn't move much. So it's just a safe thing. I've gained 1% back from it, $78. So that's been pretty good. Let's see here. Next is, of course, one of my babies. One of the ones I start off with.
Microsoft. Bill Gates.
Right. Microsoft to me is one, again, a stable company, but it's a stable growing company, like always. I'm waiting for a stock split to happen for them, man. Oh my god! But I decided to to invest again in it when I decided to diversify my portfolio. Uh, Again, because of the fact that it's stable and it's always growing. Microsoft is always growing. Anytime you think of a PC computer, Xbox, all that stuff, when your Zoom calls and everything you work in, it's Microsoft. Right? So, as you see, today's gain 1.14%, $66, but total gain I've received from $880, right? And this is with an investment of $5,000. So what I did, Jared, when I diversified my portfolio, is I only gave each stock $5,000. So we actually see the difference each stock has. So everything you see, market value past 5,000, that's how much the stock gave me. All right. So that's Microsoft. So again, stability and everything. Now Apple, the reason I do Apple is because the same thing like Microsoft. It's stable. It's always growing. I believe with Apple though, I believe I only invested 4,800 in it when I split it apart. Because as you can see, it's only 18% of my portfolio. It's another dividend stock as well. So that's one of the things. It has a dividend yield of 0.57.
What is it? You can buy halves, right?
Yeah, you can buy halves.
Okay.
So right now I have, where is it? 35.09 019 shares of Apple. Total gain 292. Again, I just love the stability. I love that it's always growing. It just had a stock split as well last year. So who knows of the trajectory it might go. But I know Apple's not one of those companies right now that's gonna go bottom up. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Next, of course, everybody knows my favorite best friend, Tesla. So with Tesla, as you can see, a $3,000 gain, 70% altogether. Tesla has been my best friend in the stock market for a long time now. Again, I just love everything about Tesla. I'm trying to own a Tesla car. My boy Kevin does all the research on Tesla. I look into a few things, but for me personally, he's more of like the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? But he's a holder. Here's one of the things too. You could be a day trader or a holder, right? You're looking for short-term gains or long-term gains. I'm looking for long-term. So my stocks, I mostly hold my stocks oftentimes for longer than a year, right? Unless I'm diversifying my portfolio, most of the stocks I have are for a year, right? Or longer. Like long game is what I play. So even if Tesla shoots down $300 right now, I'm still holding on to it. I'm not selling it. Tesla 70% increase. As you can see today, I lost $300 off it. I don't care because overall, see this is actually why you can see the difference between short term and long term. Short term, I lost $300. Long term, I gained 3,000. That's the difference, right? If I was a day trader, this would be bad for me, right? But I'm not a day trader, so that's not what I do. Tesla again was 5,000. I left 5,000 in here. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Right? 25% of my portfolio because of the rise. TD Bank. I'm not gonna lie to you. Only reason I picked TD Bank is because one, I like them, and then two, at the time their fair value was, I believe, $70. Yeah. So I bought it when it was $67. So I knew it was going to have at least a $3 increase. You know what I'm saying? Now, did it have a $3 increase? No, it had a $5 increase, which is even better. So again, invested the 5,000. As you see, gave me a return of 374. 18% of my portfolio. It's whatever. Again, it's I love Robinhood Gold. It only costs $5 a month. I love Robinhood Gold because the fair value is kind of an indicator of where the stock should be, right? There's going to be outliers, for example, like Tesla, where if you go to Tesla's fair market value, right, 680 is the fair market value, and it's now basically double 680, right? The reason why that's the case is because the returns just came back. Everything points towards Tesla being 1,000 or so they got to actually adjust. All right. Now this right here, this is where we get interesting. This is Digital World Acquisition. This is Trump shit. All right, this is
What do
Trump
you mean?
shit. So this is, I think, where his social networking is gonna be. This,
I
Trump
got
got kicked off social network.
you. Right.
So at the time, this is when I bought more into it. But
Mhm.
as you can see, at the time I bought it. Let me see if I have it all. Let me see. Oh yeah, so I bought it at 129.
Mhm.
I bought it for 2,000 at 129,
Nice.
and then I sold it for 1,700 at 173. All right, and that was within a few hours of each other.
Damn. It's
Right,
spot. You hit a spike. Nice.
you know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
Then I sold it again for 600 because it dropped severely at 89. Right,
Mhm.
so I wanted to get out before it started to regulate itself too much. So as you can see, it did, and it went down to 63.
Mhm.
So I lost $200 from it. That's fine though, because my portfolio diversity for it is 1%. One of the biggest things, one of the biggest reasons why I'm okay with this is because I risk 10% of my portfolio anytime. Right? 10% of your portfolio is for risky money quick schemes. Right? That's all it is. So with DWAC, you know what I'm saying, that was just risk. You know what I'm saying? Everything else here was long term, but this was just risk. I did the same for Doge. Right? I had 1,000 something in Doge. Then
That's for $363? Or no, I'm sorry, 27 cents. My bad. That's
yeah,
your
27
shares.
cents. Yeah.
Jesus. I was like, whoa. Like,
So
goddamn.
so I have $100 into Bitcoin because I wanted to invest my mom into something. So she gave me $100 to invest in a Bitcoin for her. So that's hers right here. She's gained probably a total of like 115. Oh no, my bad. $15. Doge I sold to get Shiba, and
That hit a mad spike, if I remember correctly.
Shiba I bought 1,000 from the Doge I had. And just to put in perspective, guys, let me see if you can see it. So, oh, yeah, Miss Blurry. All right, so my Shiba went from 1,000 to 1,647 within a week. So that is a 60 something percent gain. I forgot what it is. So yeah, that's just that's how the cookie crumbles. So again, my mindset with most of these are, of course, like um, stability, growth, but always, like I said, always put 10%. In my opinion, you can put 20, you can put 30. It doesn't matter. But always put 10% for risks. That way, you can't be that. You don't have to be that person that says, "Man, I missed it." Right? You don't have to be that person. Right? If you see everybody's getting rich off of, I don't know, Doge again, right? So everybody's getting rich off of Doge again. If you have $100, $1,000, anything like that, take 10%, you put it in there, and there's your risk. You know why? Because that 10% on average, you're gonna get back anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if what's the point of holding if when you spend it you get it back? Now, I view stocks also as an emergency fund. I don't want to touch it, of
Yo,
course.
I try to save me.
I don't want to touch it, but stocks have helped me save, like forced me to save money. So when things came up where I would have to pay $1,000 or so, I could do it. I literally could just be like, all right, sell this stock, get $1,000, go ahead, bam. Because one of the beautiful things about the stock market is the money that is still left in there is still in there. So several times had this happen where I took out 1,000 to handle some business or handle a bill or something like that, and the 1,000 was back by the end of the month, and I didn't have to put money back in. You know what I'm saying? I'm 1,100 away from my goal of 30,000. I wanted to achieve the goal of 30,000 by the end of 2023. Because at the beginning of this year, I only had 15,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 28. So January 15, November 28. Right? The biggest thing of all though is just the fact that what a lot of people say is like you gotta have a cushion. Me personally, I want to save for a house. That's what I'm saving for. But if an emergency does happen, you will then have the funds to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing. That's my biggest motivator is I do not, look. A lot of people love to do it, right? Oh, have fun in your 20s. You gotta worry about anything until you're 30 and all that other shit, bro. No, right? You know why I say no? Because when we're 40, 50, and 60, guess what? We're not doing as much moving, right? We're not moving as much. So why would I want to work harder in a harder situation? Why would I want to do that? Right? Why not me work now when I'm 20, when I'm in my 20s, right? I'm working, I'm doing what I gotta do, right? I'm saving everything like that. And then while you're working your ass off in your 50s and 60s trying to find your retirement fund and shit, my ass is probably already early retired. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing that people don't understand though. Our 20s, we're able to handle stress. We're able to handle stress. We're able to move a lot and things like that, which means now is the time to have risk, right? Risk everything. When we're 50, 60, or whatever, we going to have kids, grandkids, whatever, and we're going to try to make ends meet, you know, and then when we retire and you find out your social security check, if it still exists by that time, you find out your social security check isn't worth much, what you going to do? What you going to do? You can't do it. I sacrificed my 20s, a big part of my 20s to gain this. And I've now touched the most money I've ever touched in my life. But I also know if need be, if my family needs something, I could give it to them. If I need to take a trip anywhere in the world and I have all like this with me, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't think about that stuff because again, you're told have fun in your 20s, work hard in your 30s. No, that's the dumbest thing I could ever think about. Right? That's like, all right, if you want to look at it like in a fair comparison, imagine telling a 40-year-old NBA player and an 18-year-old NBA player go run 2 miles. Guess who gonna be more tired and pissed? The 40-year-old, aren't they? So the 18-year-old like yeah, and then go home play video games with all the energy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, fam, y'all gotta think about that. Yeah, that's it for me.
But like bottom. I mean, Jesus, what am I trying to say? Basically, more or less, find something stable or something that has high potential. Step 2, do not panic sell. The stock market is like the ocean. There are waves. It goes up and it goes down. It's going to tank. It's going to crash, as we have seen many times. Yep. But it always comes back. And then from there, just keep building on. Do your research. Make sure you know the company that you're investing in is actually worth it.
Yeah, a lot of people. Here's one of the biggest things I think about. For you, if you wanna personalize what you invest in, think about what you do. What do you do? Right? Where do you buy your clothes? Where do you? If you want to search up things on the internet, do you use Yahoo or Google? You know what I'm saying? If you're just out here like I don't know buying shoes and stuff like that, where you go, Nike or Adidas? Like when you think about your personal life, right? You can invest based off your personal life, right? Because most of the popular stuff that you go for are stable stocks, right? Your ass could buy some McDonald's stock right now. Shit, I had this history teacher who made a joke all the time, but now it's actually possible. So when she caught you with a cell phone in class, you know what she said? Like, unless you own stock in T-Mobile or Sprint, I don't want to see your phone.
That's good.
Right? Everybody in my high school know that's Miss Bailey. If you don't own stock in any of those companies in the cell phone company, you shouldn't be on that cell phone. So now, if I see her, I just so happened to right there in front of the face buy some Sprint or whatever T-Mobile, and I could boom, I could call. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things like that, you know. But that's it. Like I did. What I say is this for everybody out there: stop procrastinating. You can literally trade tomorrow morning. You can literally wake up with a portfolio and an account and be on your way. Because a lot of people, they love to say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have none of that. First of all, you be on your phone all the time. I'm gonna literally show you how it is, right? Right. When I wake up, right, first thing I do, everybody goes on Facebook and stuff like that when they wake up. I wake up, I go straight to my portfolio, I do this. Bam, I look, okay, I wait, then I wait till 9:30 to see what happens when the market's open. After that, I don't have to worry about my stock for the rest of the day. If anything, the stocks I have now, because they're long term, I don't have to look at them for 3 months. And I'm fine. They could drop all 3 months. I'm still fine because of the fact that they're stable, right? And they're made to counter each other. Microsoft made to counter Apple. Tesla made to counter Ford. Like they all counter each other in gains and losses, right? So when I hear people talk about, oh, I got the money for it, bro, I started off with $15 in general. I ain't that YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram world star be trying to be. This guy started off from a dumpster and now he owns like 5 jets. That's not me. I started off with $15 and I actually got proof because I took the pictures. Because I was hyped every time. Oh, I gained 15 cents. Let me show the world I gained 15 cents. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because 15 cents at that time was 1%. Then when I got to 150, that was 10%. And when I made another $15, that was 100%. Right? And one of the biggest things about that was I could say, what if? What if I had 100 in it? I would have made 200. 1,000 would have been 2,000. 10,000 would have been 20,000. 100,000 would have been 200,000. I could say that. You know what I'm saying? So stop procrastinating. Go out there and invest. You ain't got no more excuses. I'll be real with you, because it takes less than a minute. Every time to check it, it just takes less than a minute. You want to buy something? Boop, 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 less than a minute. That's it. Yeah. Whew, man. Yeah, man. Figure out what you guys are though. If you want to be a short term gainer or a long term gainer. Again, long term, you hold the stocks for a while. You basically hold them. Don't care what happens to them. You just you could throw your phone away and not check them. Short term gainers, you're checking them every minute. And as soon as you make a decent profit, you sell as fast as you can. So make sure you at least identify who you are in regards to that, to then know what to do with the rest of your movement. Because once you figure out who you are, everything will be easier. With that being said, Jared, any last words, sir?
British phrase number 2. You're a picnic short of a sandwich. It means the person in question is not very clever. We're going to learn every time.
I'm tired of this motherfucker, dog.
At the end of every stream, we're going to learn a new phrase.
Listen, we out. Appreciate y'all for coming through.